Right, take two. Right, I'm going to put that on there. There you go. And let's see if it is now much easier to find this live. Because this time I'm streaming directly to the page and not to... No, I don't want to switch to True Paranormal on this device. There you go, that's much better. Straight away, you go on my page, it's there. It says I'm live. Fantastic. That is what we wanted to do, not the event nonsense I ended up doing. Because when advertising for the live earlier on, Facebook came up with a notification saying, would you like to make this an event? So I was like, oh yeah, I'll make it an event. But then it was weird, because then I was like, oh, does that mean I have to stream to the event page because I've created an event? So I'd like to do that, otherwise people are like, oh, why has this event not happened? Which is where the first stream came from. But I've never done a stream before on Facebook. So this is why, when trying to find out if I was live and things, I was like, oh, I can't find my live stream anywhere. Oh yeah, it's because it's really hidden in that event section. So I don't know if you all got a notification saying that I've gone live in the events. I'm really sorry if anyone had tuned in and things, but yeah, I'm streaming directly to the page now. This is how it will be going forwards, because this is much, much, much easier to do. So now that I'm actually properly live, hello. So introduce myself. My name is Daniel. I run the True Paranormal Facebook page and blog. As I said earlier, this is the first live stream that I've done on Facebook. I will try my best to stream each day throughout October and the early days of November, probably until like the 5th or the 10th, somewhere like that. We'll see how it all goes. Because obviously these streams are all going to be testing out a theory that Ed and Lorraine Warren had, which was about the 28-day cycle. Now, I'm aware there is a program on Netflix. I saw it a year ago. I think it aired a year ago on Netflix, where it shows Tony Sparrow, who is their son-in-law, I believe, and it showed him gather a bunch of investigators to locations around America. They were locked in, well, not locked in, but they stayed confined within that area, cut off from the world supposedly, for 28 days in a row to try and investigate this theory that the Warrens had, which was if you remain in a location for 28 days and do an investigation on each of those days, or just investigate throughout your day, then the barriers between worlds will break down, and by the end of that cycle, you will have fluent communication with spirits. These has my understanding of it from watching the program from last year and vaguely looking into it. Like, I've looked through a number of things to try and find out specifics on the 28-day cycle, but I couldn't find much. Try and search 28-day cycle into Google, and straight away it's loads of articles saying, is the program real and things, that's basically how it is when you try and search for the 28-day cycle. So I don't know the ins and outs of their theory. I've tried to look into it. Like I say, there is that program which I know vague knowledge about from watching it a year ago. I was considering reviewing it on the blog throughout October as I was doing this, but I've decided not to. I'm going to wait until after I've finished my own test of the theory. I'm aware my version, not a perfect replication at all, because, I work, granted I only work 2 days a week, but I can't stay confined in the house for a month. So, yeah, already that's a flaw. Because in the experiment they're confined in their location for a month. But I'm hoping to kind of make up for that, because this is a location that I've lived in for, I think, about a year now, maybe a bit more than a year. This is where I'm starting to think, is it 2 years? But I don't think it is 2 years. I think it is just a year. It feels like 2 years. But yeah, so I'm hoping to make up for that. And it's a location I know very well. It is my house. Usually I live here with my mum, so there will be times where my mum's in. She'll probably be in bed upstairs, though. It's a reason why I'm doing the streams at either midnight or 3 in the morning. Besides, obviously, general theories of the paranormal about how at those times of day, like when it reaches, I think the Warren said it was like 10 in the evening. It was 9 or 10 in the evening, where they believed that's then the time for spirits to become really active. I don't think it particularly matters about time of day. Maybe depending on the type of spirit. If it is, if demons and things exist, maybe they are more active at 3. I know they had the theory about they're active at 3 because it's an insult to the Trinity. Whereas other people just associate with the witching hour, which again might be a similar thing. There are certain things I need to look more into. I am not at all, a hub of knowledge for all of this, like for all knowledge. It's what I've posted on my blog. I know stuff about. Anything that's not on the blog, I'm still looking into. But yeah. So yeah, let me know if you're watching. Please feel free to comment and just ask me questions about things. I don't mind having conversations with people, and I should probably make it clear my stance on the paranormal, because I don't know whether or not it's clear in blog posts or not. I try and be kind of neutral with the blog, but that's kind of my stance. I do believe in the paranormal, but I am more than open to skeptical argument. So whenever I look at things, I try and do it skeptically. I hope that has shone through in my blog posts. When doing the post, I hope it's not all very biased sounding, and being very, like, oh, the paranormal exists, this is definitely paranormal stuff. Like, for instance, my Most Haunted review, I hope that it didn't seem too one-sided, because there were times where I was like, oh, I'm being too critical of the team, and then there are other times where I'm being like, oh, am I being too in favour? But yeah, so that's my stance. I do believe it exists, but I like to try and keep a skeptical mindset, which is why this is a perfect location to do the 28-day cycle experiment in, because I know the location. I've not investigated it either since January, I think, was the last time I did investigation of the location. And the reason I stopped, because I bought equipment and stuff in time for Halloween last year. I wanted to do big Halloween investigation. And I got really interesting results with the Ouija board, which is why I'm definitely going to be doing Ouija board sessions, each night. Each time I do this investigation, you will see me on the live stream with my hand on the planchette by myself, or at least I'm hoping you'll see. Like, part of the reason why I'm doing live streams and things, like now to test it, is one, to see whether or not you'll be able to hear me, which I think you can. I tried on the other tablet and I think you can hear me and you can see me, and to see the lighting levels and things. So I'll show you the vague setup soon. But yeah, so last year, Ouija board, I got interesting stuff with the Spirit Talker app, where on the word list, I was doing the investigation, 3 in the morning, and at about 20 past 3 in the morning, Spirit Talker starts saying 4 separate words. And obviously, the Spirit Talker app, it doesn't just say words, it can say phrases as well. So strings of words together. So the first one it said was, "Hear my footsteps," which, when you're sat there at like 20 past 3 in the morning, by yourself, candles lit, your hands on a Ouija board, kind of, it's a bit nervous, You're like, oh, okay, hear my footsteps. Okay, I'll listen out. Can I hear any? Couldn't hear any footsteps. But then the next thing it said was approach, and I was like, okay, that seems a bit tied in with hear my footsteps, and obviously the time's getting closer and closer to 3:30, and then it said approach again. And this is a word list, by the way, that I will upload onto Facebook at some point. So if you are interested in the word lists that I've gotten, you can see the date and the time and all that, and all the words. I do intend on uploading them all to Facebook, some of which are already there. But yeah, so it said approach for a second time, and I was like, okay. It said, hear my footsteps, approach. I was like, okay, it's already slim chances that it's going to say approach twice, but to have those 3 all strung together, I'm like, yeah, that's very strange. And then bang on 3:30, and like I say, word list will be uploaded, you will be able to see this. It then said the devil is here. And I was like, okay, 3:30 in the morning, I'm here with the Ouija board, candles lit, it's just hear my footsteps, approach, devil is here. So that, for me, is the biggest experience I've had with the Ouija board. Aside from a bag in the kitchen fell, and what else has happened? I'm trying to remember. I've hopefully written it all down in my journal. I have heard, not connected to the Ouija board, potentially connected to the dolls I've got. I have heard Little Girl laugh. Could be next door. They do have a teenage daughter. But this was weird times in the morning. And I didn't know it wasn't a laughter. It was singing. That's what it was. It was a little girl singing. And it was like 4 notes, like distinct notes. And I remember waking up because I was asleep down here on this chair at the time, and just to my right, towards where the dolls are, which I'll show you soon, I just heard these 4 notes. I'm not going to replicate it. I'm not that good of a singer, but yeah, I heard those notes. But it was good enough where I woke up and then I did replicate it at the time, just like, how awake am I? Am I awake enough to repeat this? I know that there are things that can happen when you're like in between being asleep and awake, where you can have auditory hallucinations. But my dreams are usually very, very vivid, and to the point where I remember the dreams, and I don't really have, I don't have auditory hallucinations and things, and it's one of them where I'm like, it's not happened again, although it may have happened today. So going back to them, that's the activity I've experienced. Potentially someone speaking or whispering next to me as well. I think that there is the spirit of a boy, or just a child here as well, through doing investigations, which I will try and replicate certain things in a moment. Because the K2 meter, I remember back end of last year, K2 meter was being really weird, and I don't know if it is because there are pipes running under the floor I'm unaware of. I don't know if it's because of the Wi-Fi, because in this room there is a Wi-Fi box, so already that makes it a bit iffy for the K2 meter. But that's the purpose of this stream, to try and show you the equipment, show you the house, and see how things behave, just as they are, kind of, and also to introduce you to myself as well, and to just say my stance on paranormal, and everything that I've discussed so far. My brain's just died. All the words have gone. It's just loads of just word vomit so far, I think. But yeah, I think I'll show you around the house now. Seems like a good time to do that. I'll quickly show you this tower. So through the investigation, I have looked into having multiple cameras. This is one of the cameras I will have set up, and I've checked to see if my SD card is empty, and it is. So this is one camera. There you go. I will have this set up, possibly on a tripod, in one corner of the room, because the investigation is going to take place within this room. So this is going to be set up for sure. I don't know how much footage it will capture. So the investigation, I intend, each night will last for about an hour. It depends on how well it goes, because an hour, if no activity is happening, is a long time. This camera is what I use to film the cellar. On the YouTube channel, if you want to check it out, there are some probably very boring videos of just the cellar, just while I've been asleep, because I think there's stuff in the cellar. And you can hear weird taps and things on the camera, but it's not particularly consistent, so it's weird. But I'll have this set up in this room. I can't remember which it is that runs out first, out of battery and storage. I can't remember which one it is. So either way, I think it will capture about an hour worth of footage. Hopefully. I'm hoping that it will capture the whole investigation. If it's usually the battery that runs out first, that's brilliant, because it'll be next to a plug where hopefully I can have it plugged in, charging while it's filming. This is all stuff that I will test out between this live stream ending and the next one starting. So yeah, it's still very much so in preparation. So that's that camera. I'm actually going to put that up there so I don't accidentally sit on it. This is another bit of device that I'm going to be using. This is Samsung Tab A, where this, I was considering streaming from this one. Ideally, I'd be streaming from this one. However, this is the one with the Spirit Talker app on it, so I can't stream on that one, because this one will be going in the background. I could do a preliminary to see whether or not you'd be able to hear the words. No. What I'll do is during the live, when this app says a word, because I don't know whether or not you'll be able to hear it say a word, because this is potentially on the other side of the room. So what I'll do, once it's said a word, I'll repeat the word, because hopefully you'll be able to hear myself. I did do a test with this device to see how well you'd be able to hear me if I left the room or whatever. Just to see if you'd be able to capture audio from different parts of the location, from wherever this tablet is positioned. So I can't remember where I had it at the time. It might have been where it is currently, it might have been in the corner. Either way, I did a video where I just basically just talked randomness, kind of as I am doing now, and walked around the house while still talking to see whether or not you'd be able to hear things. I tapped on the banister as well in the hallway to see whether or not you'd be able to kind of hear any taps and knocking and whatnot happening. I'm not anticipating that will happen. I've not experienced that before, although this morning, I will say this now, to actually document it as well. I was woken up at about 5 o'clock in the morning. It may have been exactly 5, I'm not sure. I did message a friend about it, and the message I sent, it started at about a minute past 5, so I'm thinking it was probably just before 5 o'clock in the morning. I'd been asleep for, I want to say like 4 hours, something like that, 4 or 5 hours at that point. And yeah, I was asleep, and then next door on that side, I have a dog. It barks quite often. You can hear it through the walls and things. You can sometimes hear next door talking and whatnot. But yeah, at that early in the morning, suddenly I hear about 10 quick knocks on my bedroom door. And there's no one else in the house. Someone's away camping for the weekend. So 10 quick knocks, all varying volumes. So it's not just like the same knock repeated 10 times. It's quite erratic knocking and different volumes as well, which was very strange. And that woke me up, and I could hear next door's dog start barking as well when it happened. So when I woke up, I was thinking, was that my bedroom door? Because it was in different directions from the dog. If it was next door, I'd imagine it would be from the same direction of the dog, or the dog would be drowned out by it. But it wasn't. It was from opposite sides. And yeah, it was weird. It's like someone rattling the door. It was very strange. Very, very strange. And sometimes the door can rattle when there is a draft or whatever, but not like that. That was just very quick, lots of knocking, and I was like, what? Why? Who is here? And I was just sat up awake for a little bit, being like, I don't know who is in the house, because it seems like it. And I could kind of hear like a bit of kind of scratching as well, although I don't trust that sound, because that could have been next door with the dog. With the scratching sound, but it sounded a bit like there was someone standing outside my bedroom door, which was quite a intimidating experience, I would say. I was quite shaken by it. I'd just been woken up by that noise, and I was like, yeah, that's very strange. Granted, it could, like I said earlier, be auditory hallucinations, that point between being awake and being asleep, but yeah, I've looked into it, and apparently only like 12% of people experience that kind of thing. I could be wrong there. It was only a quick Google that I did. But it was very, very strange, and did properly startle me. And I don't tend to experience stuff like that. I don't experience that level of activity here either. So I'll show you around. The house is a bit of a mess at the moment. I've been, as you can see behind me, been putting up some Halloween decorations. So the floor at the moment is a mix of Halloween decorations, rubbish from opened Halloween decorations, paranormal equipment, and Lego and things. I like collecting Lego and things. It is a hobby of mine. So I will show you around the house. You can have a look at that nice skeleton behind me, and I'll flip the camera. Prepare for rubbish. There you go. Look at that. A giant coffin. Right, so this is where I'm going to be doing the investigation. You can see one of the haunted dolls there in the middle. This carpet, you can see, will not be here. I will be sat directly on the floor. The carpet will be moved, probably standing up over this side, maybe lying down in front of this chair. I don't know yet where I'm going to put it, and it'll all be a lot tidier as well. So these decorations will probably be moved somewhere. Hopefully I'll put a lot of them up. Instruction book, again, they're going to be put to the side, some Lego, hopefully upstairs. Coffin and pumpkins probably all going to stay there like that. And over here, a lot of rubbish, which I need to get rid of, because that's all just from Halloween decorations. And yeah, and you can see right here, I have bought, there you go. I've bought some batteries for the bear. You can see the K2 meter. There you go, so K2 meter right here, which does work. I'll switch it on. Just blinding light. I haven't used it often, so this is pretty much on full battery. You can tell from how bright that green light is. And as you can see, nothing really being detected. Oh, a little bit of something. But there you go. You could see like a second thing there. But yeah, that's the purpose of this stream, just to show you the normal behavior of these devices in this location. And yeah, and you can see I've got a pile of batteries. If I move that over here, you can see how much I've spent on pumpkins. So I've got a pile of batteries right here. Hopefully I'm not covering the microphone as well. I don't know where the microphone is on this device, so I'm kind of like holding it as gingerly as I can. So yeah, so I've got some batteries there, which I don't know which ones are the old ones, which ones are newer ones. I don't know how often they've all been used. It's really annoying, really. But they're for the bear. So later on, I will put a battery into the bear, leave it on the side. Actually, I'll do that now, just so that then you know. Right, trying to think of a good replication. Right, what I'll do is I'll move the carpet. Put that there. Actually, I'm not going to put that there because this is still on the carpet. The joys of live streaming. You get to see some movements in motion. Is that going to fall down? Ish. There you go. Yeah, this is the kind of view you might get during the live stream later on from this tablet. But I don't know for sure yet, because I intend on this tablet being positioned over there by the door, to look towards me sitting roughly here. Because, move those out of the way, move the planchette. Yeah, because a lot of what I've experienced in the past, because I've also seen a few figures and things, like shadow figures. So while sitting here, behind me, I know I'm pointing towards the door, but like behind me, I have seen a tall shadow figure. While I've been doing the Ouija board, I've also to my left seen the face of what I'm assuming was a child, kind of peeping around the corner. Which the description of that, it wasn't a shadow figure or anything like that, it wasn't a clear apparition, it was just very round head, very, very pale, with black eyes, which were just really hollow and prominent, and a round black mouth as well. So like round black eyes, round black mouth, just kind of there like, I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, with them being open. And just peering around the corner at me. And it's one of those ones like it's out of the corner of your eye, but then when you look at it, it then disappears kind of thing. So yeah, very strange. And as I was saying earlier, going back to why this is a good location to investigate now, is I've not investigated for ages. So in theory, anything here has been dormant for like 6 months. So yeah, because other than this morning with the rampant knocking on my door, I haven't experienced anything. Because I think, even the singing was, while I was still doing investigations. And the whole reason why I stopped doing investigations was I did end up breaking my finger. Because in January or February, I was doing quite frequent Ouija board sessions. And, you know, friends, family were like, oh no, be careful, you don't know what's going to come of it, you don't know what's going to happen with the Ouija board. I was like, hey, it's fine. And then January, February, I then broke my finger in a really weird way. Well, it depends on how you look at it. I slipped down some stairs, perfectly fine. It was raining weather, my mum had already was about to say, be careful, they're slippy. And I slipped down them, and it was really weird because my hand, like left hand, like right hand went up for the banister, completely missed it. Left hand went behind me, but landed in a really weird way. So I ended up bending the middle finger of this hand right back. So when I looked at my hand once I got back up, the finger, replicating it with the other hand, was kind of like, if I can do that, kind of like this, but more extreme. When I was just looking at it and not actually trying to do that. I was like, oh no, that's not fine. And then kind of passed out a bit afterwards. And yeah, it's the whole hand was kind of out of action for, I want to say, about 4 weeks. The middle finger took at least 6 weeks for it to then kind of heal to a point where I'm like, yeah, it's pretty much okay. So that's why I then didn't touch the Ouija board afterwards. Because certain things that happen, and I've never broken anything before, so for me to start using a Ouija board and then break something, I'm like, yeah, that's a bit suspicious right there. So yeah, so that's why I've not investigated. You may be wondering, well, if you're so wary of the Ouija board, why investigate now? You know, and the answer is because I think people should. I think that with the paranormal, I'll just quickly show you where I've put because that's actually a good place for it. I just propped it up there. But I think with the paranormal, you've got investigation teams saying all these ideas, like the 28-day theory, but then you don't have them live stream these things. That's my criticism. Like, if you read my Most Haunted review, I'm actually really concerned about how dark the screen looks right now because I've got the light on and everything. So I was like, this isn't going to go well for later on. But yeah, if you've read my review of the latest Most Haunted episode, which I did think was really good, I'll just quickly sit down here again while I talk to you so you can actually see me a little bit better. Just a bit of a warning then about how you might not be able to see me in the live stream later if it's just lit by candles. Hopefully you can. But yeah, if you see my blog post about the Most Haunted review, you'll see that one of the criticisms I gave was that it wasn't live. I think that investigators, and this is a good thing about Ghosts of Britain, by the way, I know that they've split. I need to update that post as well, because I know that Lee and Lindsay have split now, and they're both kind of doing their own things, so I'm either going to have to do a new post or update the old post. I'm trying to figure out what to do there, but at the moment that's update information. But with live streaming, Ghost of Britain, brilliant, because they live stream their investigations. Don't like so much about how they're going, oh, send me stars and all that lot. Although in a way it's an alright way. I don't like their focus on it from what I've seen, but I get it. And I appreciate that as well, because to an extent, because I don't want to be charging people for investigations. I want all of what I do, whether it be investigations, blog posts, anything like that, to be free for people and accessible for people. Which is why this live stream, I'm going to try and save it and put it on YouTube, where it will forever live, because I think Facebook might save it for about 30 days. So yeah, I'm going to try to save it, upload it to YouTube, and then it will forever live there. Same with the one tonight and all of the investigations I do. I mean, I know this isn't an investigation, but it's a good introductory thing. But yeah, so that's what I appreciate about that. And with Most Haunted, a criticism I said is that they didn't do it live. Because then, you know, it's going to be faked, isn't it? Potentially, if it's not live. You don't know where the cuts are, you don't know who is and isn't on camera, you know, you don't know if people are coming in and going. You know, there's issues with it not being live. With being live, it's far more difficult to fake things. And that's why it's great that I'm here in the house by myself, doing a live stream, at least I will be later on. And you'll just literally see me sat there by myself doing a Ouija board in the dark. Don't know whether or not you'll be able to actually see me. Hopefully you can. You'll definitely be able to see if the bear and the balls and things light up. But hopefully you'll see me. I will have light, only a bit of light. I'm going to put it on lowest screen brightness from tablets shining into the room. You'll have the candlelight. Hopefully that will do enough. I'm going to light just a bunch of candles to try and make it, as light as possible, but with natural light, not electricity. I think that could be an effect. But yeah, so I need to show you more things because I keep getting sidetracked. Because that was just a big side ramble about it being live. That is what I will do in these lives, and this is why investigating is alright, because I ramble on to myself. Yeah, so the bear and the balls, that's what I was doing. I'll flip that round and I'll move this down. Where did I put the batteries? This is now where I can't find the batteries. There they are. All the batteries. Right. Put that there. Okay, I'm gonna flip that round because you don't want to be looking at the chair. There you go. The bear. So this is the bear that I use. I'm going to sit here so I'm a little bit more in frame. It's a very simple bear. I bought it from Spirit Shack for, I think it was about £40. And yeah, it basically works in the same way as cat balls, and you can kind of see a little bit in this arm, although I don't know whether you'll be able to see it on the live. You can kind of see a patch here where it's a little bit thinner in the material, and you can see it is the exact same thing as within the inside of a cat ball. So, as I have been informed, I'll show you with a cat ball. You've got a little blue tray just underneath the red button there, and in that tray you've got a little ball bearing apparently, where if it goes from side to side, if the ball bearing moves, don't know whether or not it requires it touching the sides, but if the ball bearing moves, this is what the sensor is that tells the device it's moved, and then it lights up. That is exactly what the bear is. Each hand, each leg, all has that sensor in it. So if the bear is still, in theory, the ball bearing is still, and it won't light up. If the bear moves, the ball bearing moves, and then it lights up. So I'm just going to put a random battery in. Like I said, I don't know how good the battery's going to be. This is why I've got the new ones. So I've got these for the investigation later. Now you may be wondering, why are you not using the new ones now? The answer is because of a phrase that is that the paranormal thrives on technical malfunction. So whenever the bear is going off randomly, you'll have someone saying it's going off because your batteries are dead, or it's going off because your batteries are dodgy or faulty or whatever. So in the preliminary, I'm having dodgy batteries in to see how it would behave with dodgy batteries. If it lights up a ton, we know it's the dodgy batteries. If it doesn't light up at all, but still lights up when I touch it, it's working perfectly fine, you know? And then you know what to expect from it when you put in new batteries, because you're like, right, new batteries is going to work 100%. So I'm saving those for the investigation later, because that way no one can say, it's just the batteries. I'm just like, no, because it'd be brand new. There you go. So you can see there, the bear is lighting up. One half looks much brighter than the other. On camera, at least. So I'm going to put that right in the middle of the room. Oops. I'm actually going to flip it because that's a lot easier to show you. There you go. So, I put the bear down. There is a settling period. As you can see, the leg just lit up again. Right, there you go. So that's now off. I would expect for an arm or a leg to light up very, very soon. I'm also going to put the ball bearings out. Now this one, well, not the ball bearings, the cat balls. And I'm going to keep that in the background. So this, as you can see, lights are not brilliant. So this one I think is either damaged or the battery is pretty much gone. So I do need more cat balls. This cat ball I'm going to put at the top of the stairs, where it could potentially roll down. Will it be on? Will it be off? I might actually just switch it on, just to encourage stuff to mess with it. And then you've got these cat balls, which, there you go. You can see much brighter. Much brighter. Now, the reason why I'm not sure if this is just out of battery, because they're all part of the same pack, and I use them all at the same time. In that case, you can see, that's what I use to transport these things. There was a time where I opened the case and one of the cat balls was on, just because, it's just a push button to activate. You just push the red button down, and then if I press it properly, yeah, it is lighting up. You can see the red light there. And then it lights up. So through transportation, obviously it's landed both on the case and lit up, which has probably drained the battery of this one. Or this one might be the one where, in one of the seller videos, it does fall off a box. So this one could be that, and could just be damaged from hitting the floor. Either way, we've got the bear, we've got the cat balls. You can see the bear hasn't lit up a single time yet. I'm going to put cat balls down there. I've been notified as well about a special angle, so I'm going to make sure I'm placing them with the button up as best I can. There you go. So button is up, button is up. Like I say, that's as best as I can do. And I'm going to tap on the ground, try and get it in shot. So you can see there, I'm tapping quite close to him. Nothing's lighting up. Still nothing lighting up, and now I'm going to just... There you go, that was just stomping with my foot. Nothing lighting up, nothing moving. So yeah, that's that. And I'm going to waft with a cushion now, just to test it. Because if it falls over or anything like that, I'm actually going to put this behind here, because again, this is the whole point of this, is to not only show you the room, but also to show you the equipment. Now, is that in frame? There you go. So I'm going to waft with this big cushion, and you'll be able to see it rock, probably. Right, you just saw the ball on the right move and light up. So that was a big waft. You can see papers flying and everything, right? And the balls are wobbling, they're light, like that one's lighting up, the other one isn't. I don't know why the other one isn't. So yeah, you can see there that this one's quite sensitive. This one isn't. Because look, I just picked that up and it didn't light up. This one, okay, I could do the same with this one. But again, it's tilt to the side and then that happens. One thing you've noticed, hopefully, is I'm going to switch those off just to preserve the battery. That there you go. That took a lot of wafting for that leg to light up. That took a lot for that to happen. And that's just showing the most sensitive part of the bear is potentially that leg. As you're looking at it, left side leg. Because nothing else lit up. I'll touch it. Look, there you go. You can see the rest of it is working. That was just like fairly faint taps. Now I will expect it to light up again shortly, because again they I can't remember what I would refer to it as. Settling period. There we go. But yeah, so I will leave these cat balls on. Look, there you go. Again, you can see the left leg has lit up. That I will say is myself. There you go. So that leg is the most sensitive. So we know now that if that leg lights up at all later on tonight, especially if I'm doing stuff nearby it, then it's potentially, that's not a paranormal thing. That's just a really sensitive leg. So I'm going to chuck that back over there, and show you some more things. So again, K2 meter. I'll quickly show you that actually. K2 meter. Flip that around. So K2 meter. Let's see how sensitive it is. Because right here in the middle, this patch of floor, you can kind of see it being a bit lighter, is where the Ouija board will be. And yeah, you can see right there, this is why I don't trust the K2 meter, because that's on like 2 or 3 things. I don't know what it is, but this is what I was finding on previous things, and it's not the tablet. I'm going to put that close to the tablet. But kind of around here, because this is where I have the board usually, for some reason it detects something, and I don't know why. So I don't know if there's pipes under the floor, but you can see, going slowly, kind of tilting, because usually it detects stuff like on an angle like this, which is weird. But yeah, kind of like right here, and you could be like, oh, is it the bear? As you can see, it's kind of gone away a bit. And this is where I need good hand-eye coordination. But you can see it's not, oh, that was I was just about to say it's not going up to red, and it just flipped to the orange. So it got a bit of something there, right? You got like a little bit of something. Now, is this spirit playing with the bear? Is this something else? I think it's probably something else. Because like I said, I've not investigated here for a good 6 months. Now, spirits may very well have just suddenly, come out of the woodwork and be like, oh my god, he's got the toys out again. But I don't know. But you can see this isn't going up to the red at all. It's just at most on that second one. This is where now something's going to happen to completely disprove. Oh, there you go. So it's gone up to the third one. Mate, it's really detecting something here. Is that the tablet, perhaps? Because, I am live streaming, so this could very well be the tablet. If it's sending Wi-Fi waves. Because I don't know if it's going to detect stuff within a radius. Because what you'll always see happen in paranormal stuff is... it might be detecting some stuff from the batteries, but I don't know. But yeah, right here, you can see stuff. But what I was about to say is, in paranormal stuff, you can always see how, whenever this kind of activity happens, straight away they'll be like, "Oh, look, it's the device. Look, it's the device," and oh, look, it's not the device, and they'll just kind of do this, and I'm like, maybe it's a case of a radius, where if you're within this bubble, it's nothing, but then when you go outside the bubble, you then get something, And this brings me on to the Wi-Fi, because over here, I'm going to try not to step on the Ouija board, just in case, want to be respectful. You've got an Xbox here, and you've got Wi-Fi up by the TV, up there. The Xbox is off at the moment. You can see we've got 3 there, but let's go here. Let's see what it's like over here. So this is a good bit in front. Oh, we've got a blip there of 3. That's a solid 2. Jumping into 3. See, this is what I mean by, the more you tilt the device, the more it's like, oh my god, I'm detecting all the things. Because look, now it's just on 1. And now it's on 3. And like I said, this is a new device. Or as good as new. Oh, there you go. Look at that. 3 things solidly up there. It's all depending on where the sensor is. But right there is the Wi-Fi. And this is right in the middle of the tablet on the Wi-Fi where I'm streaming to. I'm really sorry if I'm deafening anyone. But yeah, you can see up to here, you then get a good 4 or 5, and you might be able to hear the strain in my voice because this is kind of hitting this table. Hopefully you could hear that, where it's then on 5. And then, as you can see, trying to keep it on the 3 is difficult when you get kind of to here, which is, there's not really any good way of describing it. It's not very far away. It's kind of where the keep out sign is there, is where my hand is. So it's not far from the table. And hopefully you can still hear all this and it's not just random. But yeah, you can see it jumps to 3 occasionally, like over here it's now on 3, and it's iffy. But that's the area around the Wi-Fi box. Over here, like a good bit of distance away, nothing. Oh, a little bit of something. Again, this is like in between the tablet and the Wi-Fi, so I'm like, I don't know. But look, I'm doing all the movements that I was doing before, and it's very, very reluctant. Oh, okay, now it's gone up to 2. So saying it's very reluctant to go up to 2. So we've got like random patches, right? It's very inconsistent. And it definitely isn't jumping up to 5 here. And it's not being consistently on 4 or 5 here. It's very rarely jumping up to 3. This is kind of holding my hand out. This is where the board's going to be later on. So now from all this moving around of this, we know that the Wi-Fi is going to be a factor. We know that the tablet's probably going to be a factor. I mean, look, you can see there that this is only jumping up to 2. This isn't doing much. Look, again, jumping up to 2 maybe. Being really inconsistent. It's not really doing a great deal of anything. So yeah, so it's not really doing a lot. So I'll switch that off, save the battery. So what we've determined there is this area, kind of the decorations onwards, that's potentially affected by Wi-Fi. So if anything in the investigation tonight drags me over that way, we know it's Wi-Fi. Because as you've just seen, I can trace it quite easily. I can be like, oh yeah, it's getting towards Wi-Fi, it's Wi-Fi. The Xbox isn't on, so in theory the Xbox isn't giving off anything, but you still have plug sockets and things, you know, hub of electricity. And then here, like I said, I don't know if there's something beneath the floor. What I was finding the last time with the board is it kept on being weird at the floor. Creepy child screaming outside briefly. And kind of where those boxes are in the background, that was kind of implying there was something there. I was like, oh, okay, that's weird. But yeah, this is the area we're going to be investigating later tonight. And now I'll show you. Also, important thing to note, the bear hasn't gone off a single time throughout all of that. And I've been crawling around on the floor. I've probably nearly kicked it a couple of times when trying to show you towards the Wi-Fi. But it hasn't gone off a single time, not that I've noticed at least. So yeah, so you know, like I said, it does have dodgy battery, but you've seen it lights up really bright. You've seen the cat ball, how dim that is when the battery's potentially gone. So yeah, the bear, once it's gone past its settling period, this is why I'm doing this. It's a preliminary to be like, look, this is how the bear behaves. I don't know how long it's actually been there for, but yeah, it's not gone off once. So I will show you. This is one of the dolls which I have, which is allegedly haunted. I cannot remember the names of any of the dolls. I do have notes on it, which I'll show you the box where I keep all my notes in a moment. But yeah, that is one of the dolls. Yeah, that's that. It was gifted to me by my gran, who got it from someone somewhere. I don't know who or where or anything like that. My gran wouldn't mention, but she seemed very, very confident that it was haunted. So that's the information on this doll. Looks very nice. I still have the box as well. It's kind of just piled up amongst that so far. I don't want to chuck the box just in case The box is an original box and has any potential attachment or anything like that to it. So that's why the box is still there. And I'll show you more of the house. Again, like, there you go. That was the arm and the leg, and that took 3 stamps to light those up. And they were not particularly light stamps either. And it just shows you the bear is working, it is detecting vibration. There you go, left leg's lit up from me going very close to it and walking. So that left leg is definitely the most sensitive part of the bear. At least that's what we've shown through this brief bit of investigation. This is the door where I'm going to have a tablet set up. Like, this tablet is probably going to be stood over here. I have seen a shadow figure over here which went up to roughly the height of the door handle there. I'm trying to keep an eye behind me to see if the bear lights up. It hasn't done so far. So I'm a bit in about putting a tablet here, because if anything's caught over here, from if I see it, you're not going to see it. So I don't know, or at least you might see it. Who knows? Maybe the whole camera will just cloud out. But yeah, so that's that. Around here, I'll quickly show you my box. Got Symbols of the Occult book beneath all of those batteries. They're all old and dead batteries. Yeah, then you have this, which is my box. So this is my black box with 2 cool magnets on, which I will add to. I will put up another magnet on the 22nd of October is when I'll add the magnet. Both are from Alton Towers, which is probably my favourite place to be. Just like the gothic vibes of it. I'll just check that. Yep, that's good. I have a piece of paper in here saying like loads of passwords, and I was making sure you couldn't see them. But in here is, I'm going to just zoom out a little bit. There you go. This is where I keep all of my notes. I'm actually going to move my hand as well so you can hopefully hear me a bit better. I'm trying to not cover up the microphone. This is where I keep all the notes for the blog. I need more folders because I need more categories of things. But as you can see, I'll just take out this handful. A lot of paper. So yeah, a lot of work goes into the blog for each blog post. Usually it can be somewhere between 2 or I want to say about 8 pieces of A4 paper per post, something like that. So that's where I keep all the notes, because, you know, it's valuable information, which if I want to write about, I don't know, maybe like Athelhampton House or whatever at some time in the future, or add to that post, I have all the notes stored in there and can access them easily. Then up here, you've got more dolls. In terms of the decorations, I quickly want to point out the Welcome to Our Haunted Home sign I actually want above the dolls over here, but a nail needs going in the wall. But that's not going to happen today. It's just a point I wanted to mention. I know this one's called Larry. I think it's called Larry anyway. He looks like a Larry. He's currently a little bit buried, unfortunately. What's this? I have no idea. But yeah, he just is lying on there. He's lying on there. Yeah, I bought 4 of these dolls together on eBay. So I bought him, I bought her, and I bought her. She's called Violet, I'm pretty sure. I bought all of those together on eBay, possibly from the same person. And yeah, do I think that they're haunted? No, I don't. Like I say, I've not investigated for a good 6 months. And I did a blog post about them, and someone commented then saying, you just bought them from the wrong people, you know? Just like, oh, you need to reach out to someone on Facebook in a haunted dolls group, and you need to get legitimate dolls. Don't go on eBay, because people are just selling random stuff and claiming it's haunted. So I was like, okay, I'll try that. That's where these 2 come from. So these 2 are from Facebook. Very, very, very nice person sold them to me for surprisingly cheap as well. and cheaper than they'd intended because there was miscommunication about whether or not I was going to be paying for travel for the postage. So they sold them to me without the posted price. And yeah, I actually brought these two into work fairly recently, just to see what people's opinions were of them. And the opinions were, like, the strongest opinion was that this one was fine, but then this one's creepy, which I found really confusing because to me this one is the creepy one. It's just the eyes and just the really simple face. It's definitely more interesting, but this one looks properly like an old antique kind of thing. And yeah, but with these dolls, I do practice the Warrens' approach of when it comes to potentially haunted items to not let anyone other than myself touch them. Yeah, so that's the haunted dolls. All of which I think all of them have kids attached to them. So yeah, there's a high chance that there is a child spirit here, if you're trusting at least one of the 7 dolls are haunted. As to which one it is, I don't know. So yeah, so they're the dolls, which are all up here in the same room. I'll show you from back here. So this is near the TV. Again, I've just walked over here. The bear has not lit up, so it is taking a fair bit of light movement to light it up. So there's all the dolls over in that side. Next to a really cool looking Keep Outdoor. Looks like I'm investigating a haunted house, like a proper haunted house. But yeah, and then you go through here, and this is a good test to see if you can see in the dark. Oh, this is gonna be awkward, isn't it? I mean, you can kind of see down there. I reckon if I put a couple of candles down there, you'd be able to see. So I'm going to keep the lights. Actually, I'm going to switch on the light. I'm going to switch on the light because you want to be able to see everything. Ooh, I'm just looking at the decorations and thinking I'm probably going to have to readjust. I've just got some axes hanging up there, and I'm pretty sure they're going to fall off. So yeah, pretty sure that's going to happen. It's just they're on wallpaper, like sellotape on wallpaper, and it's not going well. Really cool looking thing on there. Some pizza boxes. Again, I'm showing you this much of the house because I want you to see everything that is here. So if anything falls, you know, that you'll be able to see what it was that fell. This is the cellar door. I am not going to show you the cellar because I'm aware it's spider season and you get a lot of wispy spiders in there. So I'm hoping that there aren't going to be any big spiders. We've not seen any here just yet. The warm weather outside lately is probably a reason, but that's the cellar door. Like I said, I'm not going to show you the cellar at the moment because spiders, but yeah, that's through there. It's very creepy, I do think, because in the cellar there is a patch in the middle of the floor downstairs where it's kind of, the flooring down there is this kind of brick, but it's not brick, it's more like stone brick type thing with like gravel, well not gravel, it's like dirt basically between them. It's really weird floor, but in the middle of the room there's just this patch of gravel where it looks like the floor's been dug up and then just replaced with gravel. And I'm just like, okay, that seems dodgy. So yeah, so dodgy cellar right there. Or potentially dodgy cellar. And then yeah, so just kitchen. Not really anything much here. Everything stacked neatly. Nothing potential that you can see that could fall. There is the herbs thing on top of there, but everything seems pretty well placed. Yeah, that's just a lot of mess on there. And yeah, and then this is towards microwave. I was considering doing EVPs on this phone. I don't have an EVP recorder, but this is an old phone. It does record sound. In theory, because the audio quality is that of your typical EVP recorder, so I was like, maybe I'll do that. But then I don't devices, because this phone is back from like 2012 roughly. Devices don't recognize it. So if I did get any EVPs, I'd like to upload them somewhere. And that phone's not going to cut it. Really cool trick-or-treat thing. And then through here, you've then got the toilet area, where again, nothing potential. Like again, a reason why I'm showing you all this is to show you that nothing can fall. If anything falls, I'm not particularly expecting it because nothing can fall. But well, when I say nothing can fall, I have stuck up a bunch of Halloween decorations. I will note on the decorations, they've been up for a while. Like this one, I think I put up yesterday. I think I put it up last night. So it's been up all night. This has been up all night. The only things which have not been up all night, I had to re-sellotape some of the door, kind of that top left corner, and the kind of middle left. I had to re-sellotape, and the left side of the bunting, I had to re-sellotape. I stuck up the help thing earlier on today, and I also stuck up the swords earlier today, and the axes at the top of the stairs. I did those today as well. Oh yeah, they're definitely gonna fall. Yeah, so I'm gonna re-sellotape those before the stream tonight because they look very precarious, very cool but very precarious. But yeah, I'm gonna basically just coat them in sellotape because I want that kind of effect, you know, with the like what I've got going on with the swords, but with the axes. And yeah, and so that is the house, and the bear hasn't gone off while I've been doing that. I'm going to keep the stream going a little bit longer just because, I mean, ideally I'd have put the bear out at the start and then I can be like, look, an hour's passed and the bear hasn't gone off once. But now I was like, oh, I don't know how long it's been. So I'm going to just sit down on the floor, keep the stream going. You can't really see my face here. It's a bit of a rubbish position for me to sit in. Yeah, please feel free to comment or anything like that. But yeah, so the layout will be, I'll show you the bear again, which still hasn't lit up. The bear will be here tonight with cat balls. I don't know if I'll have the balls there. This one is going to be at the top of the stairs, as well as this car. I'll put that I might not put that at the top of the stairs, but I'll put it somewhere. Because one of the dolls I've got is said that they will move toy cars and things. So I'm just like, yeah, we'll see if that happens. But the bear will be here. The Ouija board will be... Actually, no, I don't know. We'll see. The Ouija board's going to be here. That's the one certain thing. The bear might be a little bit off to the left. It'll be a similar setup to the photo I uploaded of a past investigation. The cat balls, I'll probably have like one up there and another over here. And yeah, just to get a good view of this room, because I'll have cameras out and things, I might actually stick one up behind me, by where the dolls are up on the top there. Just if I have that in camera shot, which I might not, I don't know. But I'll have one camera standing over here. I'll have another camera standing over here, and then hopefully it'll be a good view of me. I'm actually considering this tablet might go by the Wi-Fi box to look towards the door. We'll see. But yeah, so that is intense, and the bear still hasn't gone off. I don't know how long it's been, but the bear still has not lit up yet, without me having to properly stamp my foot next to it, basically, or properly waft it. You've seen the bear hasn't fallen over. You've seen the balls haven't rolled. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all the showing I can do now. I've shown around the house. I'll show you upstairs quickly, as I've not shown you that. So there you go. So through here, you got the stairs. So this is where I saw the potential apparition of a child, just peering round from the stairs round this corner, which is very strange. So yeah, so up here, and I'll actually have a quick look at the axes to see, because that one on the right looks like it's going to fall any second. Okay, right.
This is the X's. This is how they are currently. Will I sellotape them up a bit more? Maybe. It's just this strand I don't trust because it's come off up to about here. And there's only like this much left, so I'm like, But they're still looking fairly even. So I'm like, maybe I'll just have left it. To the left is my mum's room, which I'm not going to show you because she probably doesn't want me to show you her room. And to the right is my room, which I will show you the inside of. Because this is all above the living room. So this is where I'm going to be doing the investigation. Well, not in this room, but beneath here is where I'll do the investigation. As you can see, lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of Lego. I do collect it. I have been doing for years. It is insane how much Lego I have. But yeah, so this is... If I hear anything above me in the investigation later on tonight, it'll be in here. I've got shelves up. Hopefully they don't fall down. If there's any loud crash, it will be these shelves. But they've been up for a year now. Got hammock, which, again, creaking noises could come from the hammock, but there's no one in it, so it shouldn't creak. Yeah, and then you've just got a lot of stuff up here, which none of this is really going to be making any sounds, because, you know, it's all still. And yeah, you know, you got that tub there, which looks a bit precarious, but hasn't moved for like a year. So yeah, so that is all the upstairs bit. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it is a very cool room. Well, yeah, I hope that they don't. And thank you for joining the stream. Thank you for joining. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I need to repair some of it. As you can see in the middle there, it's all a bit broken. It's not doing great because it all gets caught up in charges and things, which I have plugged in there usually. But yeah, look, there's the bugle. Bugle in the middle there. Which I need to put up more shelves. I intend on putting up more shelves here, at the back wall, where I can then clear up a lot of this stuff. But yeah, I've got the bugle there, Mysterio on top of it, and yeah, a lot of cool stuff. Like a ton of cool stuff. And oh yeah, I'll show you these shelves as well. Behind me, I'll try not to step on anything. Big mechs up there, big Hulkbusters, Vader's Castle, Death Star, a lot of cool stuff. Yes, you did, and thank you very much for that. Thank you very much. But yeah, there it is, in all its glory. I was originally going to put the Avengers Tower there. Do I have any UCS Star Wars? The closest I have to a UCS Star Wars set is the Death Star. But I don't have any proper UCS ones. I really, really, really wanted the Mos Eisley, however you pronounce it, the Cantina. And yeah, I did want that. Don't know if it's retired or not. If it's not retired, I do want to buy it because I want a desert area eventually. And I would have put it kind of in the middle here, but this room's too small. Yes, everyone wanted the Death Star. And this is the first version of this Death Star. So this isn't the not very much improved 400 odd quid one. This is the £275 one. So yeah, this is this one. Oh, it's not retired. That's good. Yes, I agree. As like what I want from UCS sets, I prefer, you know, like the playset style things like this and like Vader's Castle. But yeah, I really want from those sets it to be the ultimate version. So with the Cantina, they've done loads of little sets before, but they've not been the proper. I want a set where you buy that and you know no matter how many other Cantinas they release, the one you have has everything you could ever need with it. And that's what the UCS one is. And I'm like, yes. This is why like the Bugle is so good, because I'm like, there's no way they're going to make another Bugle, even if they make another big Bugle, that's going to top this. It's like with the Rumoured Avengers Tower. There's probably no way they're going to top that. So that's what I want from those sets. And you can see Apocalypseburg and things over there as well. Pirate Bay in the background. A lot of cool things. Disney Castle down at the bottom, which I don't think you've seen. So yeah, so a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff. That's the old Disney Castle as well, not the new one. But yeah, so back onto the paranormal things. And yeah, I don't know if you've only just joined. I don't know if you've seen the Halloween decorations I've got up. Just saying, I've got a couple of axes here, which might fall down. But I'm hoping that they won't. Don't think they're releasing another Bastard Bellcan. Yeah, I don't think they will either, or at least not anytime soon. Maybe in like 20 years' time, but I don't know how they'd improve it. Yeah. Again, with UCS X-Wings, I'm like, yeah, I just need an X-Wing, you know? It's just one of those, and I was like, yeah. Yeah, I don't know how the old ones have more value. Yeah, look, this is my pop-up coffin, which I've bought for Halloween. But yeah, so later on tonight, this is where I'm going to be doing the investigation, in this room. So I was just saying, above me is where my bedroom is, so up there is where the bedroom is. So any sounds that might occur, which I say are above me, will be in my bedroom. And I don't know what sounds it'd be. It would just be a Lego up there. So yeah, so I'll be sat in the middle of the room there. You can see the Ouija board off to the side, which I will have in the middle. I'll have some candles lit, as you can see by, like, you can see like those little tea light things. I've got more up there, which I can use to light up the room. Hopefully you'll be able to see it, because I'll show you how dark it's probably going to be. There you go. That's a good representation. So hopefully you'll be able to see through the tea lights, see where I am and what I'm doing. But yeah, so this is that's it pretty much. And oh yeah, these are haunted dolls. I don't know whether or not you'd have seen those. Ah, yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna save it. I've seen, because I did do a very, very, like a 4-minute long stream before this one on Facebook, just to see if it worked, which I'd kind of botched where I was uploading it to. Oh yeah, dolls. Yeah, yeah. All these dolls. Yeah, I have 7 of these dolls, and they're all allegedly haunted. This one down here, my gran got me, because she knew I was interested in the paranormal. Oh yeah, that episode. Yeah, that episode scared me as well, with the 11th Doctor and Amy turning into a doll and things. Yeah, it was very creepy. But yeah, this one my gran got me, because she knew I was interested in the paranormal. So she found this one. Don't know who sold it to her, where she got it from, but she said it's haunted. So I was like, okay, that's cool. So that's that one, and then these 4. So I've got this one, this one, this one, and this one. I got all at the same time from eBay. These are the first dolls that I owned, because I was interested in haunted objects, and I was like, you know what, let's investigate it. So I got those from eBay. Allegedly they're haunted. I don't think so. But yeah, and then you've got these 2, because I then posted on Facebook about my allegedly haunted dolls, and someone was then like, oh, you've not gone to the right place, because, you know, on eBay, oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna have a look for abandoned places. But people on Facebook were then like, oh, you should look into, you know, putting a message out on a haunted dolls group on Facebook. They're like professionals, they'll have haunted dolls, they'll be able to sell you them. I was like, okay, I'll do that, because, you know, I've gone from eBay, people are probably dodgy on eBay, I'll try the Facebook thing. So I did that, and then someone contacted me, and they sold me these 2 dolls, and yeah, the 2 dolls here, I don't know if they're haunted. Apparently they're very haunted. I've had them for less than a year, probably about 6 months now. But yeah, that's these 2. Which, out of all of them, in theory, these 2 are the legitimately haunted ones. But yeah, but these 2 were the ones that kind of drew me in on eBay. Like they're the ones where I was like, yeah, there might be something to it. But yeah, so in theory, there are ghosts here because they're attached to these dolls. But there's a dodgy patch in the cellar as well, where it's just a gravel patch in the cellar. I'm like, that seems a bit weird. So yeah, but I definitely will look into abandoned places in the area. Yeah, that's. I'm gonna try and do that. I'm gonna investigate some. Like I've got a friend at work who told me a story about a particular place in Manchester, or like just North Manchester. Um, yeah, and I'll tell you like the story in a moment. Well, a couple of stories. But yeah, my friend said about a haunted location in North Manchester, and I think we were looking into maybe going there. And I did a blog post kind of linked in with it lately about the miners. Well, the Coblin Eye, however you pronounce it, but they're spirits of dead miners potentially, because she had a friend whose mum, I think it was his mum. I'm not too sure on the details. My friend's figuring out the details of it, but one night, someone dressed as a miner was knocking on their door, like properly banging on their door, like late night, like asking to be let in. And it spooked them a lot. And they lived on top of an old mine shaft, which was unstable ground and things. So we're hopefully going to be investigating that part, like that place eventually. But other things this morning, I was woken up at. Oh, let's have a look. Did you ever hear about Taxel Lodge in Whaley Bridge? Ooh. I want to see more of the comment. There you go. No, I've not heard about that, but I will look into it. I will definitely look into that. Yeah, see, I don't know. See, why are you scared? Is that when you've been to a legitimately haunted location? That sounds like one of the most haunted locations you could have gone to. It was a place where loads of bad stuff happened. But yeah. This morning, at 5 a.m, I was woken up to erratic banging on my door. Like, house is empty. Oh, thank you. You nearly fell through the floor. That is the risk of looking into abandoned places, I suppose. But yeah, 5 o'clock this morning, erratic banging on my bedroom door. No one else in the house at the time. Next door's dog was barking. Could have been next door. That was just making noise, but I don't think it was because the sounds were coming from different directions. And yeah, I just heard like about 10 knocks, very fast, different volumes on my bedroom door, which woke me up at about 5 a.m. At the same time, next door's the dog was barking. So I was like, that was creepy. 1st of October, the day I'm supposed to start off the investigations and things, suddenly I'm woken up by basically my door being assaulted by something. Yeah, so that was weird. Also, I'm looking forward to seeing what the Ouija board, like, because I'm on my other tablet, on this tablet, I'm going to be using an app called Spirit Talker, and it's a random word generator, where in theory spirits can manipulate it to, talk to you through that. Ah, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Yeah, that's one of the kind of marked things of hauntings where you're supposed to, like, if one of the things is smelling stuff. That's interesting. That's very interesting. That's really cool. Whereabouts was it? Was it Hawk Road or was it elsewhere? That's right, because where I grew up in Hawk Road, I'm not going to say the specific address, just as it's a public thing. I don't want people turning up being like, "Is your house haunted?" But yeah, that house was haunted. My parents always told me a story. Okay, interesting that it was at Hawk Road. Very interesting. Yeah, because that puts that road as being quite haunted then. In fact, I think just New Mills in general is quite haunted. And where I just said the town, but it's fine. You can have people walking up and down that road being like, which house is it? But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that puts it as very haunted location because, like I said, the house that I grew up in, my parents were always telling me stories about how that house was haunted. And my mum said that there was a night where me and my sister were very young and asleep in bed. My dad was at work, and my mum was just asleep in the house. And yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Um, but yeah, and my mum heard footsteps, very, very clear, loud footsteps going up the stairs. So she then panicked, being like, "Oh no, someone's in the house. They're gonna get to the kids first and things." Um, and so yeah, so she looked outside the room then because she had no choice, and there was no one there. But she heard very clear footsteps. And my dad's also said about hearing footsteps. I'm pretty sure my sister has said about hearing footsteps on the stairs and things. Um, so that house was very haunted. I personally didn't experience anything in the way of footsteps. I did hear my name being called out to me from my parents when they weren't in the house. So I'd just be sat in my room listening to music, and then I'd have my parents shout up from like the kitchen or whatever, and then I then went down and that's cool. Yeah, I know about. Yeah, I remember hearing about that. Yeah, is that the big house? Um, because is he? I vaguely remember the name. Is he? Was he the one who lived kind of on the corner to the right of, like, if you're looking at the back of the fire station from where we lived? Yeah, yeah. I think because the whole area used to be a graveyard, didn't it? I think um, because it was a church that used to be, yeah, on the fire station. Um, so it's really interesting that you've got a number of houses being haunted in that area. Because I know it's probably like a fair bit away, but near the pavilion, you've got before you get to the like from the yeah yeah, but yeah, before you get to the pavilion from if you're walking from the fire station, there's a row of houses, and one of those is apparently very haunted. Um, but yeah, because I've seen photos of New Mills from way back then. Because I've looked into the area a lot, because I was like, I wonder if there's anything to the land. Like, is there anything that used to be there? But it was just fields, as far as I can see. And you've got obviously the church there, and like graveyards and whatnot. But yeah, it's strange that seems like the whole area is just haunted. Um, yeah, that's cool. Although I do think that the house I grew up in potentially has a demon there, if demons exist. I think that there is something negative there, basically. Because when I've done the random word generator, it seems to consistently have two things come through. One is one saying, "I'm a friend, you can trust me, I'm an angel," and things like that. And then another one saying, "Don't trust it." And I was like, okay, that seems really ominous. um, so yeah, so it's iffy because obviously my dad thinks that his mum haunts the house. So I think that there's one good spirit, one not good spirit there. But yeah, but it's interesting that the whole area is potentially haunted. But yeah, New Mills in general, I think, is very haunted. Hayfield is haunted. I've recently discovered because I bought a book about just haunted England. I think it's called. Um, you've heard the fire station's haunted as well. Yeah, I agree with you about the fire station. That place is spooky when you are there by yourself. Because there have been times like where when I was younger and just like looking for my dad in the fire station and things. And obviously like, everyone would be like upstairs or whatever, or there'd only be like a couple of people in, and it's spooky. Um, yeah, I definitely think that there is, yeah, definitely. There's definitely spooky stuff going on there. Um, and like I said, the whole area was a church and graveyard and whatnot, so it makes sense for there to be something, especially with the girl who died. You'd expect for her to still be there as a minimum. Like even if it is just like one haunting, you'd expect for the girl to still be lingering somewhere. Interesting as well because the random word generator one time at Royal Crowd gave me some names and I googled them and they were people from New Mills. So I was like, oh, that's very strange. I'll have to contact them, see if they'll let me investigate. But yeah, I think I've heard people who've worked there saying that it's haunted, or like, I've heard something about it being haunted. But yeah, Hayfield in general, like I say, according to the book, there was a flood which killed loads of people in Hayfield, I think. I'll have a look quickly, because I have the book. If I can get into my case to actually get the book out. I basically got this really old briefcase thing, and it's very old, so the locks are kind of a bit stiff. Yeah, but if you can't punch a ghost, then how's a ghost supposed to attack you? If they are physical to you, then for that moment, in theory, you're physical to them, is what I would think, or at least I would assume it. But yeah, I'd definitely like to stay somewhere haunted. It's a shame because Alton Towers, years ago, had a sleepover event in the actual towers themselves. And obviously they did it as like a big scare maze type thing. But the towers are said to be very haunted, so I'd have loved to have done that. There you go. Haunted England. This is the book. Oh, what do I think happens? I don't see reason to believe why there'd be a heaven or hell. I think that there's a lot of misunderstandings regarding stuff discussed in religion. I'm going to push this back because I'm looking like a crazy conspiracy theorist that close. Yeah, that's the general thought that you stay around if it's unfinished business, like if you've got unfinished business, grudges and whatnot. But yeah, I think looking at it scientifically, the body and the mind, as it were, I would say are two different things. Obviously you've got the brain, but then you have the mind, which is actually your consciousness, which is all from a form of energy. And I've looked into it because I thought, in regards to spirits needing energy to communicate, I thought, right, well, if spirits are a thing, in theory, a person is just a spirit in a body. So then I thought to coma patients and thought, well, if spirits need energy to communicate, and coma patients, sometimes, they're in a coma and there's no reason for them to be in a coma. So I was like, okay, maybe it's more of kind of like a spiritual problem, of they just need energy to wake up. So I then looked into electrocuting coma patients, which is a very strange thing to be searching. And it turns out that it is an experiment that has been done, and it worked. And if you electrocute coma patients, they will wake up. It gave varying results as well, as to whether or not, like, some stayed up for like 5 minutes, others for hours before going back into a coma. But that very much so implies to me that it's an energy issue. So I do think that the spirit exists separate from the body. And so as a result, I think when the body dies, the spirit doesn't. Because the spirit in theory still has energy. It's just the body that doesn't have energy. So it's like food, water, all of that lot is what you need to keep the body going. It's kind of like, if you think of it as a machine, you've got the actual components of the machine, the physical stuff, which needs, working on occasionally, swapping out here or there, needs oil or whatever to keep it moving. But then you've got the actual kind of, in a way, computery stuff, like AI or whatever, which doesn't need that. It just keeps on running. But I think for people, the particular energy that spirits would need is stuff like, when you hang out with your friends, for instance, you can be feeling exhausted at the start of the day, but then when you meet up with your friends, you're suddenly full of energy. I'm just like, I think that you get a type of energy from that. It's like, again, referring back to coma patients, it said that talking to them helps them wake up. So I think that that is a form of you providing them with energy. So yeah, so I think that's that. Once living from heaven and hell, you can never prove it. Yeah, that's basically my thoughts on heaven and hell. Oh, so you do believe in heaven and hell? Why do some people stay behind and some don't? Again, I think it's energy as to why some say. I think that everyone stays behind, but I think you need to have a particular level of energy to communicate. I think it also depends on whether or not people are willing to communicate, because not everyone is weird like myself and likes to just potentially just talk to themselves in a room and hope that they hear something interact. No, talk to yourself in your head isn't physiological. From what I know, scientists can't figure out why talk to us. Exactly, because you hear yourself talk in your head and things, and it's a weird thing to have that, because that isn't a physical thing, and that's just going on in your head, and it can't really be explained. And so yeah, so I think that the spirit is the thing. But I think that psychic ability and telepathy and things, I think that that's a thing that can happen. I think that is how spirits communicate with you. I think that is how you can communicate with spirits. And I think that's how spirits communicate with each other, because obviously they don't have mouths. So if they are to communicate with one another, it would be through the equivalent of psychic ability and telepathy and things like that. So that's my thoughts on that. So yeah, so I think everyone stays around. I think that there potentially is a death after death, where you run out of energy. So I've got a theory that because you have certain spirits who, like, I don't know, like Charles II or whatever, he'll be spotted at the Tower of London, and he'll be spotted at some old manor house somewhere across the country. And my theory on that is, throughout life, you have attachments to objects. You put out your energy on certain things and certain environments. And I think that once you die, they are kind of like refuel stations in a way, where you can go to these locations that you have been to throughout your life, to these objects throughout that have been with you throughout your life, that you've had attachments to, that you put out a lot of emotion onto. And I think you can then use that energy to then keep going and keep interacting with the environment. So that's my thought on that, as to why it seems like some stay behind but some don't. I think everyone does, but some people might not have lived much of a life potentially. They may have just stayed in the same place, and so they're refined to that location. They may not have exerted much energy in life, so they might not have much energy to take back in and to use in the afterlife, things like that. That's my general belief on those. It's why, like, a lot of the time spirits are like murderers or murder victims, because murderers obviously are putting out a lot of energy into the murders they're committing, and murder victims are obviously dying in a very tragic, emotion fueled way. So I think that they carry that with them in the afterlife. I think meditation is a great way to communicate and calm them down. Yeah, do it regularly. That's cool. I've tried meditation, and it makes me go weird. I don't know how to explain it. It makes me feel really unbalanced, is probably the best way of putting it. I mean, I think that I potentially am sensitive to things in regards to paranormal activity anyway. So I think that I wouldn't call myself a full-blown psychic, but I think that I'm sensitive to things. And I think that with meditation, I think that gets me more in tune with my surroundings. And as a result, everything becomes quite chaotic. So I tend not to meditate because everything is just a bit overwhelming when I do. But I know a lot of people find meditation really helpful and really calming. So yeah, that's cool that you meditate. I went to the answer of the day, taking in bedrooms, and instantly feels like emotional trauma. Exactly. It was getting a feel of yeah, yeah, that kind of nostalgic feeling and things that, like I say, like getting a lot of energy from that. I do think that throughout life, whether we intend to or not, we put out a lot of energy into various objects in various locations and whatnot. So yeah, so I think that's what happens throughout life, and then when we die, you can use those locations and those objects and just take that all in. It's all theories that I'm still working on. It's just stuff I've been thinking about for a good bit of time now, and I'm just like, I think I'm getting pretty happy with the theory. I don't know quite how it fits with science. That you need to think about the science angle, but yeah. But yeah, this stream has gone on for a really long time now because I've been streaming since 4. Important thing to note. I'll actually. Oh, I'm going to quickly say the hayfield thing when I find it, and then I will say it. Because I was going to say that, and then I got completely sidetracked, which is absolutely fine. I do like when people comment because it means that I just have a really good conversation and can discuss thoughts and theories on the afterlife. And I like having the conversations with people. Where is it? Whereabouts is this saying New Millses? It is within Derbyshire. I should have known that. I grew up there. I am an idiot sometimes. Is it before Devon? Yes, it is. So there we go, Hayfield. Unfortunately, Mills isn't there. But Hayfield. There you go. All the dead in the cemetery surrounding the ancient chapel rose from their sleep in golden raiment in 1895. Or 16th century. I don't know. Yeah, in the 16th century. Yeah, that happened. But yeah, so there was a communal grave of flood victims recorded as taking place in 1754. So yeah, so Hayfield, very haunted because of flood victims. There was just a mass grave dug for flood victims, which is strange. Actually knowing the location, I'm like, how could you have like a deadly flood there? It seems quite hilly, but also like you're not going to have a, it's not like where a tsunami is going to happen or anything like that. It's very strange. But yeah, so it said that the dead rise from their graves, but the scientific thought to that is, with it being a mass grave, it's a lot of bodies, it's a lot of drowned victims, so a lot of bloated bodies, all these bodies that would be bloated, and it would have been quite shallow graves that had been buried in because it's a mass grave. So it's thought that they rose from the graves because it was already shallow and the body is inflated over time, and that just kind of caused them to naturally rise. Yeah, so I will end the stream there, I think. Yeah, it's been a pretty good stream. Very, very important to note, I think I've probably noticed it earlier, the bear is still there. For a moment there, I thought it was actually going off, but it wasn't. It was just... You can see like a blue light on it, and I'm just like, that is not the bear lighting up, that is just the bear. It has not lit up once throughout that conversation. So, yeah, it's one of them ones like, the bear's not lit up. And it has been about an hour now, I think, since I had it out. So, yeah, the only times it's lit up are when I have stomped my foot next to it or wafted it with a cushion, very clearly, and much stronger than a draft. So that's that setup. The cat balls as well. I think I did switch them off. I'm going to just check. Oh no, I kept them on. I kept them on. So they didn't light up either. And I was walking about. I stood next to the bear at one point. Didn't even know they were on. So, yeah, that's... If they light up tonight, if they light up a lot tonight, you know why. It's not because faulty stuff. And I'll be using brand new batteries for the Bear. I'll just double check. I'll show you that the Bear is working. Because, you know, at the start of the stream I did say they were all batteries. It could have run out. Right, I'm going to sit down. So I've just sat down. The Bear hasn't gone off. All the cat balls are working. The Bear, absolutely fine. So yeah, so I'm going to take the battery out now. And that is that. Hopefully, you'll be able to see the stream tonight, as in, like, visually be able to see me. I will have candles lit, I'll have the tablet out. It's going to be a fun time. If need be, I'll switch on this little tree light I've got, or, like, because I want you to be able to see it. I'm going to look into trying to stream directly to YouTube. I was considering Twitch, because I've got my Xbox, it's got a webcam there. It's very easy to stream to Twitch on Xbox, but yeah, I don't want to do it unless I'm playing a game. So I'll try and move my laptop over and have that as a third camera, just to have a direct stream to YouTube at the same time that I'm streaming to Facebook, and the same time I'm streaming, well, not streaming, but recording footage. I don't know if the laptop one will have any audio. I don't think it will, but I don't know. It depends on whether or not there's a microphone in the laptop or in the webcam, which there might be, there might not be. Who knows? We'll find out later. We'll find out tonight. As for myself, I should note, with how I'm feeling currently, a bit anxious towards later on tonight. I was more anxious earlier. I'm glad I've got the first stream out of the way. But yeah, so tonight, we'll see how it goes. I'm feeling fairly well. I have potentially had a bit of a cold the past few days, but not noticed. Feeling a little bit tired, not too bad. This is where I'm going to yawn now, because I'm talking about how tired I am. There you go. Don't know how much sleep I got. I think I went to sleep at about 12, was woken up unexpectedly at about 5, went back to sleep, woke up at about 9, 10, something like that. So I've had a decent sleep. So I should be alright for this 12 o'clock live stream, because I'm in working on tomorrow, so... yeah. So, I hope that you've enjoyed the stream. It's been good chatting to you all and things, and good seeing people, like, popping in and out as well. I know... Oh, the rain started. That might be one thing that you hear later on. But yeah, I know a number of people have popped in and out. I know only one person's chatted, but that's absolutely fine. If you just want to come in, see what it's about, and then leave, that's alright. It is what it is. This is different from my usual content, and this isn't the investigation. The investigation is going to be tonight, midnight, 12 o'clock GMT. That's when it's going to happen. And yeah, so I hope to see you all then, and I hope that you've enjoyed the stream. I know it's been a lot of rambling and a lot of just saying random thoughts, but yeah, I hope that you've enjoyed, and I hope that it gives, like, something I've said gives you good reason to comment something random, you know, just, I don't know, something building on my thoughts, and even if it's like with me saying about heaven and hell not existing potentially, and you know, things like that. I've said a lot of stuff, or if you have any ideas for the investigation later on, that would be much welcomed. Like I say, it's very much going to be an investigation on a budget. It's going to be very much so, very, 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 like, this guy's not professional kind of investigation. That's what I'm expecting. I will be breaking rules of the Ouija board. I mean, already I am by doing it by myself. Part of the reason why I'm doing it by myself is because of the logic of, it's one of the rules, do it with other people, because of the whole effect where someone else might be moving it unintentionally, so you know it's not you, but then it plays on your mind, and then you'll accidentally move it, and then everyone's like, oh my god, no one's moving it. Whereas by yourself, you know it's not you, kind of thing, because you're by yourself. But yeah, random ramble over. I hope to see you all later on tonight. It's going to be interesting. This tablet doesn't have night vision, so it's going to be very interesting from that perspective. So yeah, Hopefully the candles will work and you'll be able to see me or see something about the investigation. This is the reason why I'm gonna set up the camcorder, because then that's a backup. Because you'll have sound on that, you'll have night vision on that, so you'll see some stuff. So yeah, so goodbye. I hope to see you all later on tonight. Thank you very much again to Sue Bailey for commenting. Goodbye.